Okay, quite a battle out there today between the two of you. Just talk us through your thoughts on the match.
Yeah, today was a tough match. Every time I play Carolina, it's feels tough out there on the court, and yeah, she's a talented player. So really, just came down to a couple points in the third set that went my way.
Okay, we'll start with Matt.
Well done, Coco.
Thanks.
How does the experience of getting to this stage of a Grand Slam, how does it change things for you? I mean, is it more fun being in the second week of a Grand Slam, or does the fun go away? Or I don't know. So,
Yeah, I think it's more fun. I feel like with each match you start to relax a little bit more. So, but also as you keep going, usually the ranking of the opponent gets higher, so the matches should be a bit tougher, which they have been. But I definitely think it's more fun just because you're in great battles, and also just being here in Australia, I think it's the real opportunity to show like where your game is. Yes, we play warm up tournaments, but Grand Slams is where everyone kind of tries their best to peak at. So you expect to play the peak version of every player. So I think it's just a fun challenge.
Next question. David and then John. Yeah.
Hi, Coco. Congratulations. Last round,
Thanks.
you were asked about sort of like the next generation of players, and you had to do the math quickly and realize that you're only like 2 years or 3 years older
Yeah.
than them. So I'm just curious how you feel when you're asked about that. If you feel that much older than 21, and just what you make of that the sort of phenomenon that you find yourself in.
No, I always find it weird because the way people ask the questions make it seem like I'm way older than them. But I've been around longer, obviously. But yeah, they're always like, do you have any advice to give them or things like that? And I'm like, you guys realize these are like my peers. Like we're in the same, like we are hanging out. Like we're in the same age group. So I think it's just the idea that I've been on tour like 6-7 years at this point, just because I had a bit of an early start. But yeah, they're only 2 years younger than me. And yeah, it definitely feels like I'm the same age because obviously I talk to them. We're interested in the same things and stuff like that. But it's always funny when people ask me the question, and I usually don't have anything to say because I'm still figuring it out just like they are.
To you, though, to be able to still, have camaraderie with your peers, even though you've had sort of a unique sort of upbringing in this sport?
Yeah, honestly, I find it more a relief now that younger players are doing better. Well, not yeah, are being more on tour just because obviously when I was 15, there weren't many people around that were my age. So it was very lonely for me, honestly. So it's great to have like more people in my age range doing better. And, so I can see them at tournaments more because I had a lot of friends, but we weren't playing the same tournament. So it was just tough to keep up with those relationships. So yeah, I felt like the last couple years or maybe like last 2 years on tour have been some of my happiest, even though maybe the tennis has been up and down, just because you see more friendly faces in the locker room that you can actually be with. Obviously, there's Jess and Maddie, but they're a little bit older, so we don't always connect on the same things.
Okay, John, and then over here. Yeah.
The interesting stat I noticed was that every time you've beaten Mukova, you've gone on to win the title. Do you feel good about that, or is it something in the back of your mind where you think, oh, how can I keep that going?
No, I saw someone post that. I didn't know that, but I mean, I don't think it's a real thing. I think I just usually play her later in the tournament, so it just happens to be like that. I think, yeah, U.S. Open, I played her in the quarters. Beijing was in the final. Cincy was in the final. So I think it just happens to be like that because I played her in the later rounds. But no, I don't think I'm going to think about that. But if I do win, then I guess I have her to thank. I don't know.
Okay, we'll go over here and then Doug. Yep.
Coco, congratulations on winning today.
Thanks.
I guess sort of somewhat adding onto that, like your consistency at such a young age to be able, to go deep into Grand Slams, into tournaments and everything like that. I guess what's your mindset like? Like what's your mindset like? Going into these like deeper parts of the tournaments. Like I guess how do you sort of keep reaching that level and keep getting to those points?
Yeah, I think honestly, I feel like once I get past like the first round, I kind of tend to relax a little bit more. And I mean, for sure, I've lost earlier too, but I think I don't know, it just feels like relaxing. And yeah, I think also just draws to help. When you get seeded, you don't have to play so many tough like seeded players in the first couple rounds. So I think that helps. But yeah, I think overall, I feel like it's just the more experience I get at this level, maybe not the easier it gets, but the more used you get to dealing with those difficult situations. And like obviously losing the second set today, I'm glad I was able to reset and kind of go on to play some good tennis after that.
What are some of those difficult obstacles, I guess, that you're sort of alluding to, like, you know, that you
Yeah.
have to deal with in those moments?
I think always for in the past for me was maybe not looking too far ahead. I remember when I made my first quarterfinal, such an idiot. I think it was French Open, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so close to winning. Obviously, it wasn't. That was like plenty of people made the quarterfinals in their career never and didn't win. So, but that's just how I thought at that age. So now I just honestly treat every match like I'm the furthest away from the trophy. Even if I am in the final, I find in the final I treat it now like as if I'm the furthest possible away, like I'm not even close. And for me in my head, that just helps me play better. But I don't know if that'll work for everybody else.
Okay, Doug?
Hi, Coco. American women are having a pretty good showing here. I'm just curious if you're aware of that. I mean, if Amanda wins, well, half the quarterfinalists will be from the USA, and so I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Are you aware of it? What do you think's in the water?
Yeah, I'm definitely aware of it because you see them every day and we're all rooting for each other. And I don't know, I think it's cool. I think I was mainly aware of it last year when we were at the WTA finals. I think it was like 4 out of the 8, if I'm not mistaken, were Americans. And I don't know what's in the water, but I think, you know, we have a strong like tennis identity in the United States. So I think that just causes the natural cause to produce great players. And then also I think when you have friends and people you practice with being at a high level, if you're not at that level yet, you know that you can reach there. But yeah, it's really cool to see all of us doing well. And I think, yeah, for sure, I think Jess and Maddie play, so there'll be for sure one, and hopefully Amanda can win and we can keep this up.
Okay, Yasmin and then Matt. Yasmin?
Coco, I wanted to ask you about the Players Box podcast, seeing as you were their first guest.
Yeah.
We've not really had active players start a podcast before, so I was wondering if you've listened to it, what you make of it, and if you think it's important for us to have that perspective of like an active player in a podcast.
Yeah, I think it's really cool, especially like the most times you guys hear from us are usually in these press conferences and we're getting asked questions that maybe you guys, well, they're not bad questions, but they're not bad questions, but they're just questions that you wouldn't, like if you're in the locker room, there's more fun questions to ask, but obviously you guys aren't there. So I think that it's cool to get their perspective. And yeah, I listened to it before, and Jess asked me like if I wanted to go on, and I was like, of course. And honestly, I had a really good time, and I think that it's cool to see a different perspective of other players. I don't know if I would start one. I don't think so, but I'm happy to be a guest on some. I think that was my only second ever podcast, so I've been invited on a few. I don't really like being on them because I think I talk too much, so it was just nice to be with like 4 other people, so it avoided me talking too much.
Matt?
At what point does the locker room start to feel empty?
Honestly, today,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
today I was like in the gym and stuff, and I was like, oh, it's kind of empty. Usually, you know, you're fighting for like your little corner of space to be in, and then the locker. I mean, my locker is way in the back, so it doesn't always feel crowded. But I think today was like the first day I walked on, and there's like a little lounge area, and you know, sometimes their seats are taken and sometimes they're not. And today I was like, oh, there's like quite a few available. So I would say like, yeah, 4th round is when it starts to feel a bit empty.
Lonely at all? Or-
No, it's nice because you can actually like move around and you're not saying sorry like every 2 seconds because you're bumping into someone.
Okay, last one, Doug.
You talked about age, just in your, playing with a lot of your peers, but Eva's, 18, so she's kind of your age, but also.
Yeah, she's my
do you-
brother's age, so.
Do you feel like sort of more of a matronly feel when you're with her?
Matronly, I mean, I think of mothers when I think of that, so I'm not quite there yet. But yeah, she's the age of my little brother, so yeah, I do feel older than them. Like that's for sure. I don't feel like the exact same, but I don't feel as old as people make it seem. But no, I've talked to Eva a couple times, and yeah, I've never talked to her about advice or anything. I feel like she has such a good head on her shoulders, so I don't think she needs that. But yeah, I always to make a conscious effort, even though didn't know her that well, but in Cincinnati I tried to talk to her, just conscious effort of talking to the younger players, because I remember when I was younger, some players just, I wouldn't say mean, but it was just standoffish, and it was just a different world than I was used to in juniors. So I think that was the hard transition of having friends in juniors and coming on pro and no one talking to you. So I do make the conscious effort, even if I don't know them, just saying hi or saying good luck, and then you start to talk, and then you become friends, and it's cool.
All right, thank you.
WWOS Sports is your home of the Australian Open. From highlights of the best players, every magic Aussie moment, and the best expert analysis.
We'll have every nail-biting, heartwarming and edge-of-your-seat point covered. Subscribing to Wide World of Sports on YouTube is a must for any tennis fan.